This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 9/22/2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander, and let's go take a look. As usual, the links will be in description, and having some dry eyes, or extra dry eyes today, so if I have to scratch my eye a little bit more than normal, that's why. So this, we'll look at the sub 10 ones real quick here. So Mini Rogue is very interesting because it was another winner of a contest on BGG. The game looks interesting and it's actually doing really well, even up to 200 reviews. So I'm interested to see how this one does. I think it shows the strength of the BGG design contests, and you know, most of these people that are designing these games are doing it for fun, and some of them are able to get a published game out of their hard work. Cartographer Heroes is a follow-on to Cartographers, which was a very well received flip and write game. It looks like this one's doing pretty well out of the gate, and I think a lot of people like it because it supposedly gives a way to mitigate monsters, which were kind of a take that mechanism in the first one, which wasn't, which was differentiating, but also maybe not fully well received by everyone. Iberian Gauge, which is the next version of the Gauge board games for train building, it's doing well. I don't think it's starting off as strong as Irish Gauge did. Probably the same or similar mechanism. I actually don't know too much about this, but I would guess similar mechanisms with a different map. Oh, actually, Paleo. So this won the Kennerspiel this year, I believe, and it's continuing to climb. It's not, you know, I don't know if this is actually going to get into the top 100 unless it starts getting more ratings. Maybe it'll get a release at like Target or something where more people will start purchasing it. That's always a possibility after getting such a big award. And Comet Blood and Sand is well on its way to entering the top 100. It's already at 1,000 ratings with an 8.37 average. That is really strong at this point, and it's almost the only thing limiting it is probably the number of copies available of this game. And let's see. So we looked at some of these. All right, number 10, Intrepid. So this one is a new game to this list. Now, previous weeks it wasn't doing as strong, but this week it got some pretty good ratings. I don't know what this game is about. Cooperative asymmetric game of survival aboard the International Space Station. That's kind of interesting. It's like an aliens aboard the space station, maybe? Is that what it is? Must work together to generate each round to resolve a disaster they're facing. So I guess it could be any sorts of disasters. Crowdfunding Kickstarter. And dice and space exploration cooperative game, dice rolling. So I'm a big fan of cooperative games, but this one looks fairly complicated. The production is not, I guess it's kind of Beyond the Sun-esque. So yeah, I guess this isn't aliens. This is actually astronauts dying in space on the cover, which isn't, I guess if you're dealing with disasters, it's a fairly heavy game. I don't know. I mean, Spirit Island is such a good heavy cooperative game. I think it would take a lot to eclipse that. I actually have CO2 Second Chance. Probably not going to do as well based on the BGG rating as Spirit Island, but I need to get it to the table. So where do we think this one's going to land? I don't suspect this is going to be strong enough to get into the top 100. Cooperative games tend to not do as well. I think a lot of people are competitive gamers, and thereby, I mean, there are you know uh, games in the top 100 that are cooperative, like Pandemic Legacy and Clank. Actually, not Clank. Regular Pandemic, and also Spirit Island. But I think outside of those, I think the Crew's in there too. Outside of those games, there's been very few cooperative games that I can recall to get in there that aren't heavily thematic, like Mansion of the Madness, etc. So this is number 10, Intrepid. Number 9, Super Mega Lucky Box. So this one I know nothing about. This looks like a game right game. Interesting. Oh, Phil Walker Harding. So this is his latest release. So Phil Walker Harding has had a lot of great games, some good games, and some okay games, I guess. And it's interesting to see what this one is. So it's bingo pattern building with flip and right, and it's fairly lightweight. I do kind of like the name Super Mega Lucky Box, and it's got some nice tokens. I don't know. I mean, I do like the erase and write, but I will say these markers that come in these boxes are really bad. Like you basically play with them one time, and you got to get your new markers, or maybe a few times. Um, yeah, I don't know how it exactly works, but given the popularity of roll and write games, a kind of a family weight one that maybe since it's game right, you'll probably find it at like Target and stuff. That could be pretty good. I don't think it's going to end up in the in the top 100 because of the audience, but it's getting decent ratings to start out with. Mid sevens, which is actually not bad. So, Super Mega Lucky Box. Number 8 is Crew Mission Deep Sea. So this is the Crew 2.0 or the next Crew game, which is, I would say, the only trick taking game I actually like. I don't think I like any. I don't think I've played another trick taking game that I actually like. But the Crew is amazing. It is such a good cooperative game that actually has uh information limitations in it, which I am also a lot of times not a fan of, and it does it in such a fun way and such a uh I guess the replayability is so good in this game that it's just amazing. And I assume yeah, the new version of the Crew has the same innovative cooperative trick taking mechanism, but some new surprises. Um Yeah, so basically it's going to be new ideas, probably new ways of doing it. I mean, the theme in the Crew was pretty weak to begin with, but overall, it's just such an amazing game. I think this one's going to continue to do well, and it's getting amazingly good ratings, like I would expect. So this is probably going to hit the top 100. I would be surprised if it doesn't. Number 7, Legend or Descent: Legends in the Dark. So this one is it kind of had a weak start and it had a big bump in ratings, and now it's coming down a little bit, but it's still doing really well. Still think that this one will hit the top 100 at some point just because of how popular Descent is. Uh, Initially, this got some mixed reviews, I think, but I think the people that really like Descent are going to really like this game. So this is number 7, Descent: Legends in the Dark. Number 6, Dark Ages, the Holy Roman Empire. So I don't know if we've seen this one. Let's take a look. So this is epic civilization miniature game set in medieval Europe. Oh yeah. So this one is a integrated Dark Ages. So we saw Dark Ages Heritage of Charlemagne. This is the other game in that series, and you can integrate the two. And I saw this one, and it looks. I mean, the miniatures look really cool. The game looks very interesting. It's just and it could be an amazing game. I just don't see myself bringing this to the table instead of playing something maybe a little bit more epic like TI4. Um, that's number 6, Dark Ages, the Holy Roman Empire. Number 5 is Ankh, Gods of Europe or Gods of Egypt. This one, maybe there's gonna be a game, Gods of Europe. I don't know. Uh, Gods of Egypt. This one's continuing to do well. I think it's going to end up in the top 100. It's I guess the last Simon Eric Lang game in the trilogy. Um, just that is going to propel with a lot of sales. I think my opinion after some plays is that it's better than Rising Sun, but worse than Blood Rage. And my gut feeling is that's probably where it's going to land. If it doesn't get there, it might just be because the miniatures in Rising Sun were just so amazing. They looked, they were stunning miniatures in that board game. This is number 5, Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Number 4, The Great Wall. So this one, this is the latest Awakened Realms game, which I guess I had some doubts after Aetherfields with the mixed reviews on it. And the rulebook issues where they kept rewriting the rulebook and never published the final version, I think, till after they closed the Pledge Manager. And I backed for $1 thinking I'm probably going to want to get this, but I ended up not backing it in the end and regretting it after the fact because the reviews for this are quite good. It seems like people really like this game. I mean, look at the comments here. So this is a worker placement game. Great game. Looks like it'll be a firm favorite and a perfect fit for all my gaming groups. Oh, the box doesn't fit all the components back in when they're assembled, so that's kind of sad. That makes setup a little bit worse. Pleased with the thought that went into this hybrid Euro. So this is, and that's actually kind of an interesting thing is that Legends of Elder Vale came out, and that's a kind of a hybrid Euro game. I think this was going on maybe the same sort of thing, but this one wanted to do like a semi-cooperative worker placement. And I've never liked semi-cooperative games. They always feel like, even Nemesis, I feel like if I was playing it, I would want to play it fully cooperative. We played it semi-cooperative, and it just felt like I'd rather just turn up the difficulty and play it in cooperative mode. I think it's going to be more fun. So anyway, in this game, you're basically building the wall, keeping the Mongolians out, and defending China. And each leader is trying to collect the most victory points using worker placement mechanisms and asymmetric abilities. And the end result is a game, and I don't know if there aren't actually that many pictures, which I'm kind of surprised that people haven't put them up. A game with amazing looking miniatures, which I again regret not getting, even just from the standpoint of how good the miniatures look and how good the production is. And uh, I'll see if I can get a hand on it, or hand on a copy, or if maybe this game does so well that we end up with a reprint. So anyway, that's the risk you play with Awakened Realms, is that some of the games just are very good and they don't get a retail release and they don't get a reprint. And I have a feeling this one probably won't get a retail release, at least not that I've heard of. And a reprint is probably not super likely. So, at least at this point, if it does well, obviously people will really request a reprint. This is the Great Wall. I think, given the strong reviews, it has a chance of getting the top 100, but it may just be limited by the fact that there are only going to be so many backers in this game. Number 3 is Furnace. So this game kind of reminds me of City of the Big Shoulders in terms of the artwork. Maybe that is the same artist, or one of the same artists. It looks like there's a lot of them here. But it's I guess a bit different. It's got auction mechanisms and is a lot cheaper than, say, the Big Shoulders, even though it has some of the similar, I guess, period and even some similar looking artwork, in my opinion. As far as where I think this one's going to end up, I don't think this is going to end up in the top 100. It started out fairly low on the ratings already, and usually this is the strongest point of a game. Now, sometimes that does change, but within the first 1,000, usually, if it's in the mid sevens, it's just not going to have the legs to get to the top. Where I think this one will end, so it's already at 2,000. I think this one will probably get into, it's got really good looking artwork that's going to propel a number of sales, and then I I think it's going to get in the top 1,000, probably in the top 500, and maybe that's where it'll stop. Number 2, Korra: Rise of the Empire. So this is interesting. So this is a game that is a second edition, I guess. Um, and it's I guess a second edition of Improvement of the Polis. And I looked into this, and the designer is this Headquarter Simulation Game Club. And these are a group of designers, I think, in Japan that design board games in a university. And the credits never go to individual designers; they go to this Headquarter Simulation Game Club. Now, one thing that with this game that is amazing is the production that Yellow did, and they did dual layer boards. They really good looking color scheme, great looking art on the cards, and I mean, look at these cards. This is like, yeah, and really good looking artwork on the cards. I think that has the makings of a potentially well, or it'll get people interested in this game, especially since it's kind of civilization themed. Uh, Rise of an Empire. Now, I was actually looking at this game. Oh, and one other thing I want to add: the price is not that bad. I think it's like $50 you can buy. Uh, uh, I think on Amazon. Um, the one negative I saw, or I'm reading comments on this, is that the dice rolling in this, I guess some people have felt like it detracts from the game. That it kind of sends you in a direction, I guess, or you're kind of stuck. If you roll bad, I guess you tend to lose, which I don't think works as well in a high level strategy game, or an expert level strategy game, or a game that's this heavy. So let's see how it does. I'm actually very interested in this, and really interested to see how the reviews are for this. As far as where it's going to land, I just don't know. It's kind of early, and there was some really positive reviews. I know that some people have been waiting for this reprint for quite a while. But let's see how it does in the next few weeks. I think we'll see it on this list. And number 1, Witchstone. So we talked about this one before. So this is the latest Reiner Knizia game, and it's doing really well actually. So this is maybe one of his better games recently. People seem to be liking it, and I think the production, like how the game looks, it looks pretty decent. I'm just interested to see how it plays. I know that he's designed so many games, and I think his last really good one was Quest for El Dorado. So it's very interesting to see if this one has the you know the maybe bad, the average, or the great game from this designer who has designed so many games that it's hard, and with so many different mechanisms, it's hard to argue that he isn't one of the greatest board game designers, or at least modern board game designers in the history of modern board games. So this is the end of the list, the BGG climbers for the week ending 9/22/2021. If you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.